So I'm on the stage now where I'm putting the fire in. So this fire we've got here is a Firefox 5.1 clean burn 2. So I'm basically, I've just sort of unboxed it. I've got the bits out of the box. There's the legs, the ash pan, some screws. There's an instruction manual that I've got over there. It also came with a glove to open and close the door. And there's a couple of bits I haven't took out yet, which I take, it's like the throat plate and stuff like that. So like I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the legs on it, sort of just offer it in the open, and then I can measure up for me flue pipe and stuff like that, and then we'll go from there. Right, so I've just, carrying on from where I left off, I've just unboxed the feet and stuff. Just to fix the feet, I've screwed on these bits of threaded bar, so they come with it, screw them into holes. There's an option, so obviously the two back ones need to go where they go, because there's no option with them. With the front feet, you get an option, so you can have them sort of at the front, which is what we're going for, or you can have them set slightly back, so that's just personal preference really. To put the foot on, you've got the washer, you're putting on first, another nut, like an anti-vibration one. The foot then goes in. You could probably put the bolt on as well actually, I'm just checking. And the bolt, so the nut, sorry. So I put the nut on. Put the foot in. And tighten it down. And if your floor isn't overly level, which I don't know if you can see it in the video particularly or not, but there's some little nuts on the bottom of these feet, so I'll unscrew it all the way out. Little nuts. So they sort of would level it up, so you're not going to get a massive amount of levelling, but you will get sort of a, 10mm sort of play with it. I've just left them finger tight now, I'm hoping that's fairly level. Also a note as well with the feet, the back two have a hole through them. It's supplied 2 screws, which aren't very long, but I might use long ones. But they'll go through to secure it to the floor, because if you're putting any sort of heavy logs in and stuff like that, it could get moved. So what I'll do is I'll put all the feet on, stand it up, put it in the fireplace, make sure all the flue is right, probably get to a stage where the flue is ready to be cut. And then I'll mark through the 2 holes, take this back out, gently drill it without cracking my heart hopefully, and then put the screws through and then finally connect it up. You're provided with a couple of plugs there, they just look like normal plugs, so I'm taking it, they're not going to get too hot. That's what it's supplied with anyway. And then once you've got them on like that, you either need an adjustable spanner or a socket set. What I've got here, we've got a big enough socket in there. Yeah, it's fairly easy to get in with an adjustable spanner, so I'd have to go into a garage to get a socket. So for the sake of 3 volts, I'm not going to worry about that. You'll probably get a better feel using the spanner as well, because you're not going to over tighten everything. It's sometimes easy with a socket to tighten things up quite a lot. So I've just got to put the fire in, and what I've realised is because I've put the feet on the forward sort of mounting point, the hearth wasn't far enough forward, so I was always going to put another row of slabs at the front. It was just I was going to leave them off until we got a bit further on with the decorating. What I found is the foot's wanting to sit sort of here really to centre it up with the flue. So what I'm going to have to do is lay these slabs now. I'll drop onto the back room fire, give these a chance to set, and then come back to this one. So I'll update you again once my slabs are set, and we'll probably jump onto the back room fire next. So I'm back in the front room now, the hearth's set. This stove's got a couple of holes that you drill through the feet on the back to secure it in place, or to stop it moving when you put logs in, etc. So I've drilled them, I've put fire cement in the collar, and I've put it on. I'm going to put a bit of fire cement on the inside of this, and then put it onto the collar from above, and then get it all marked into place. There's a built-in gasket on this one. I've already cut it and marked it outside. Just dampen the cement. It does say to dampen it in the instructions when you read them. So that's the fire installed. It's all fire cemented up. So I've got the collar, the gasket underneath, the fire cement in the top. It's all fire cemented round there. Inside. Well, I'll put my hand in and I could reach up, and I've fire cemented where it goes to the flexible adapter. Give it a bit of a clean with a damp cloth. Now literally I'm going to leave it now for a couple of days, just let all the fire cement set, then in a couple of days time I'll start off having a couple of small fires, and then hopefully it should be back up to full strength after that. So just a bit of a sort of a review of how things are. So this is my Firefox 5.1 Clean Burn 2 stove. It's been installed. It's been fully commissioned now. I've sent off the paperwork to the local authority. So after the original installation, left it a couple of days just to let all the fire cement on here set, around the top set, and just sort of like more time for the cement on the chimney pot to set. So that's all been set. Last night I had a small fire, so basically a little bit of kindling and a heat log. Tonight, got a similar sort of thing. So I'm going to have some kindling, a couple of sort of heat logs, I'll come to them in a minute, and then tomorrow night I'm going to try it with coal. So a bit of a review on wood and a bit of a review on coal. And when I say coal, it's smokeless coal. I'll come to the exact make and model of it when I do it tomorrow night, but it's stuff that's approved for use in a smoke controlled town. So the logs that I'm putting on it, I'm putting these things on. These are a oak, sort of a compressed sawdust oak log. I got them from a company called Brix&stix in Cockfield. If you look for them on Facebook or something like that, they'll come up. And they seem excellent. Like I say, last night I put them on. I'll talk through how I did it. I mean, I think they've got their own videos on how they work, but with my particular stove, I put a bit of kindling on, a couple of fire lighters, come to all of them in a minute, a couple of these to begin with. Once they got going, I kept adding one, and I would say it was probably lasting about an hour. So I was putting one of them on for every hour, roughly. There's a couple of air controls on this. So there's this one at the top, which is like an air wash one, which is what keeps the screen clean, and then there's this primary one at the bottom. So what I did was, when I first started off, I had everything open, so I had fully to the right, which got a plus symbol on, so fully open for the primary one, and then I had the air wash fully open. What I then did was close the primary one down, and they just sort of smouldered away, so they're like glow away. Like I say, it was fine really, kicking out plenty of heat for what we wanted. I did try knocking the air wash off. Now when I knocked the air wash off, it seemed to properly start smothering the fire, so I think with this particular one I probably need to leave the air wash turned on and just control it by the primary. When I'm burning these, might be a different story when it comes to coal, but I'll figure that out over the next few days. Turning neither of these off doesn't make it contravene the deferent bit either, by the way. That's a separate sort of lock on it, so you can't knock that off, so there's no issues there. So, to lay the fire, I've got my kindling. Got my kindling from the same place I bought the coal from, so that was Norman Simpson's, which is sort of like Buttonhole way I think, but again if you Google it, look at it. So I got the kindling from there, big bag of it. Like I said, I liked it last night, what I did was I put a few bits in, like that. And then I put like the ecologs over the top of it with a fire lighter. These fire lighters, by the way, got them from that company there. To be honest, they're very similar to a normal fire lighter, but they're like a sort of what they call it, a natural fire lighter. So I think it looks to me to be a combination of like sawdust shavings and maybe it's a bit of a waxy substance. They are really good. Probably burns for in between 5 to 8 minutes when you light it. And I put one at either side, so I had it like one there. One over this side. Sort of in amongst my kindling. A bit of kindling over it. And then I'd like my eco-log things, what do you call them, renewable logs. Start there. Trying to be more efficient and it's all fall apart. Anyway, obviously normally I'm not going to faff on like this, but for the sake of the video, a couple of fire lighters, kindling, a couple of eco-logs, I'll light it, which I'm not going to do quite yet, but I'll start the video up again when I do. Air vents fully open, and then like I say, maybe after about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, by then everything's caught, then knock it down and just leave it away, and then like I say, probably every hour just chuck another one of them on and see how it goes. The stove itself, I'm really pleased with it. Nice solid design, everything's nice and robust on it, seems well made. There's not a lot to say about it really. The only sort of downside with this Firefox one is it's a multi-fuel version, so it's wood burning and sort of smokeless coal version. Now, I've got another fire that I've got a different video about, Hunt Herald. Now, the great on that, normally when you're burning wood, they say that you want like an ash on the bottom, basically, so you've not got the grills. Now, these don't produce much ash, they're very fine burning, so it's just falling through the grill. Now, on the Hunt Herald, you've got a bit of control where you can close the grill opening and open it, so you could run it closed for burning like your wood logs and stuff, which might make it burn a bit better. With this one, you haven't really got that option, so it's open or not. You've got this control here, which is a bit of a scraper, so I think that's for if you get too much of an ash build up, you can sort of give it a rake about and that'll rake it out, so that's good. But that would be my only sort of statement. If you're surely going to burn wood, just have a look into the grate, because like I say, the other one does appear to have a bit better grate, although in saying that, the other fire was probably twice the price as this one. So like I say, for the price, I think it's excellent. You know, a good fire. It appears very well made, solid. I don't think anything's going to break on it or easily or out like that. Come with, you know, instruction manual and all that type of thing, which was all, I mean, it's fairly straightforward, but it's all alright. So I think I've said earlier on in the video, but there's a feet option, so you can have the feet where I've got them, you can have them slightly further back. The back feet have a couple of screw holes in here and here, so I've put a couple of screws in just to hold it in place, so that should stop it moving. You know, if you accidentally pushed it or anything, although it is very heavy, so I don't think it'd move anyway. But yeah, it's nice, like I say, I'm pleased with it. It came with a glove, and it came with a tool for getting the dustpan out, and I think by the look of it, you can also put that in there to do your raking about with, so you can pull it in and out with that, so if you wanted to rake it and it was hot, so that's that. So, like I say, I'm going to go and do something else, leave it another hour or two. Once we come to sit down, I'll light it then, because it's not particularly cold at the minute, so you know, if it was a cold night, I'd probably light it and let it heat the house up, but it's we're still in double figures at the minute, so I'm more lighting it just to get a bit of use out of it while it's new, make sure everything's working alright. Like I say, pleased with it. Right, so I'm back now. It's starting to get a bit later, so we're going to light the fire. So I've got my 2 firelighters in there, I've got a selection of kindling, my 2 heat logs, matches, and that's a ring lit. That's my the Eco Fire lighters lit in a ring. Like I say, I would expect it to be up to full power in about maybe 15-20 minutes. What I'll do is I'll keep an eye on it and I'll update the video in a little bit. So it's 10 to 7 at PM. 10 to 7 PM. Got the air fully open. So see how it goes. You maybe get a little bit of black on the glass when you first light it, but obviously once the flame gets going, that clears it off, so it's just like the initial light. So like that, I'm quite pleased with them. What I'm trying to figure out is what to go with. So do I carry on buying the sort of the pre-formed logs? Do I get deliveries of wood, or do I burn coal? I'll just see how it goes. Like I say, I'll do another video, or I'll add on to this video. We're doing a Firewood coal probably tomorrow night, and we'll just sort of compare it and just see what the benefits and the pros are. I think the main benefit with coal over this is it can probably be left longer. So with this, it's needing to be fired every hour or so. So if you sat on the night, chucking a log on every hour or so. With coal, I would guess once it's lit, it does seem to last. It does last a long time from previous experience. So I guess that'll be the benefit. So it might be sort of a hybrid of the two I go for, whereas I'm putting a bed of coal in to get it going and to get a nice base on it, and then I'm chucking one of these eco logs on when I want a bit of a extra heat or a bit of a flame and stuff. So like I say, I'll update the video in a bit. So it's been about 15 minutes since I originally lit it. I can see the well ignited now, so what I'm going to do is knock the air off, the primary airflow off, like I say, the airflow's still on. So I've knocked the primary airflow off. We're going to walk the dog for half an hour. So I'm hoping when I come back, it'll be nicely burning away. I'll keep you updated. So I just wanted to inform you, I'm back from walking the dog. As you can see, it's took quite nicely now. It's about, what time is it now, Alicia?
7:40.
7:40. So it's been lit for about, what's that, about 50 minutes or so? Roughly, yeah. Still plenty of meat on the logs, nice flame, plenty of heat. Before I went out, I left it just a touch open in the end, just to ensure it kept a nice flame. So see there, I've just pushed it shut now. It's definitely well established. Yeah, it seems to be going good. So once they're burned down, I'll chuck another log on, so maybe it's half an hour or so. So yeah, so 2 logs, and there's probably a good half an hour to an hour's left in them. So your initial ones, you may be getting an hour and a half, 2 hours out of. And then maybe it's a log an hour after that, maybe a bit less now. I've got used to shutting the air down a bit more. There's loads of sort of heat radiant. It was noticeably warm when we walked into here, so I'm pleased with that. There's honey. Waiting to get my dog back near the fire. There you go. Nice close up there. So that's the 2 heat logs from the Brix&stix place at Cockfield, with the primary air turned right off and the air flush turned open at the top. I'm quite happy with how that's burning like that. As I get more used to them, I might adjust the air a little bit one way or the other, but looks good. So I'm back into the lounge. So last night I did a burn on wood using the ecologs from Brix&stix. Like I say, I probably got more than that. I think in the initial video I said I was putting one on an hour. Probably got a little bit longer out of that, so I was quite pleased with that last night. Anyway, tonight I'm using coal. So I've got coal, smokeless coal, approved for use in a smoke controlled area. I think it's called Blazes. It's supplied by a company called Norman Simpson, which are a local coal merchants. Just move honey out the way. So again, to lay the fire, I've got some kindling on there. I've got a couple of shovelfuls of coal, so there's, you know, a small amount of coal in there, and the fire lighters. And then once it gets going, I'll add a bit more. I've also, out of interest, bought one of these fans. So it's it works by thermal conductivity, apparently. So it should, in theory, put heat round the room. It's a for your home heat powered fan. So we'll see how that goes. And it also comes with a thermostat that I've got fitted on there. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so I'm going to light the fire lighters. Like I say, I'll just compare it. I'm imagining before I've done anything that coal will be, once it's there and lit, it's literally a matter of putting a bit on and you could go out a few hours. So I don't know, if you were going out, it was a cold night, you put some coal on, you'd get it going. Once it was going, you'd shut the air down, go out for a couple of hours for a meal or whatever, come back, open it up and it's burning. Whereas with the wood, if it's going to be left for anything more than an hour or so, unless you get it really well stocked up, it's like, is it going to be lit type of thing. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. I've done that good of a job. I can't actually see any fire lighters. So I've got both the air vents open. sure the firelighters have took which they are. I'm going to close it. You do, if you burn on coal by the way, you do need to make sure you have a decent quality liner. So I've got a 904 grade stainless steel liner, and it said that it was approved for burning solid fuel like smokeless fuel. So you do need to check that out. If you've got the cheaper grade liner, 316, I think because of the corrosive sort of elements in the smoke that comes off the smokeless coal, I think it can damage it a bit, so you just need to make sure you've got the suitable liner for it. Anyway, it's lit, and I'll do the same thing as last time. I'll come back in an hour or half an hour and see how it's going. So, just an update on my coal burning. So, it's probably been about an hour, is it? It's been about half an hour since I've just put it on. And to be fair, it looked like it had gone out, to be totally honest. What I did though was I put a small piece of wood across the top, went back outside to do something, come back in, and it has all sprung into life. So it's sort of like getting nice and red at the minute. So I think if I'd been patient, it would have just eventually come round. But I think by putting a little bit of wood, it sort of ignited the coal, and it's got it going nicely now. My fan, it's just started going round as well, so I can only just feel a bit of a breeze off it, but it has just started going. So, like I say, I'll leave it an hour or so, or half an hour, to look properly established anyway, and then we'll just have one final update about how it's going. So, final update with the fire on solid fuel on coal. He's funny, nice. Been excellent. Been for a couple of hours now. I've been out to walk the dog and etc, so it took a bit longer than I thought to get back. I've got the air on about 1/3 open, and I've got the wash sort of fully open. But on 1/3 open, the screen's clear enough. I'm assuming if I opened it up it would burn any soot off and sort of fully clean. But nice clear screen. My fan's going well. There's a lot of heat coming out. I mean, according to my thermostat, I'm on about 300 Fahrenheit. So, I mean, it's not red hot, it's only just in the sort of operational range. Assuming the thermostat's reading right, like. But it's knocking enough heat out. The fan's going. I wouldn't say the fan, it's not like blasting air, but it's certainly moving the air around the room, if you know what I mean, which is what you want, because you don't want to feel a draft as you sat, do you? So it's nice. So all in all, nice little fire. Very pleased with it, and sort of see how it goes over the next few months.